Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Welcome to a weekend episode, a shorter episode. Thanks, Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, ComC.com, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Burbank Sports Cards, and Mike's Stadium Sports Cards. Thanks, sponsors. Got a nice note from a listener, Mark, who was lamenting the fact that as a veteran collector who was putting together sets and willing to consider cards, that he's not interested really in the graded cards because he's fine with putting a set together that's raw, a vintage set in only very good or perhaps even good condition. You know, fair and poor don't always look so great or have much eye appeal, but there's some good condition cards, which would be like the equivalent of a 2 in a slab, or VG, very good, which would be the equivalent of a 3 in a slab, that have some level of eye appeal. You don't need to look much farther than some of the auction results. Heritage, Huggins & Scott, other auctioneers that put out, if it's an early Babe Ruth card, even if it's in a 2 or 3 condition, or a Joe Jackson, you're still going to get a lot of demand for an older card. But people are still concerned with the eye appeal. So listener Mark, very reasonable letter that he sent. And his dilemma is that when he's trying to put together these sets that are in good or very good condition, he's aware of the price guide value of the card that's, say, near mint condition, and so is the dealer, but they can't always agree on the price. So the problem is when a card is in excellent condition, that in many cases, or say a weak excellent, a little less than excellent, you can get half the book price for that in many cases. But what Mark wants, he wants half of half. If it's a $10 card, he is wondering, and again, I'm not in charge, but I have my opinions. He'd like to pay $250. He'd like to pay 25%, not 50% of the book value for a card in lesser condition, whether it's a star card or a semi-star or a common card. So dealers are not always cooperative, and I'm sorry, Mark, I don't know that I can give you that much help. Basically, if it is in excellent condition, you should, in many cases, you'd be happy paying half. But if it's not excellent condition, but VGX, or only VG, which would be like a 3, again, the price there probably ought to be closer to $250, but you're on your own in negotiating. You've really got to point out if there's any semblance of the card looking excellent, you're probably not going to get much of a discount off the already half off. If it's in good condition, in other words, a 2, my guess is the person, the dealer would probably cave. On the other hand, that may not be that helpful to you because it's not really a bargain. If you're really looking for a filler and you're paying 25%, you're paying $2.50 for an otherwise $10 card. If it's in good condition, in many cases, good luck selling it if you ever want to upgrade and getting the money out of it. You may. And you may not. You're obviously, unless it's a very, very big superstar, as I said, you're probably never going to send it to get it graded. And so whether it's good, very good, excellent, those are all conditions that sound good to the non-collector, but that means there's some flaws. An excellent card still has a noticeable flaw. VG is even more noticeable. The good condition, it sounds like, hey, I got cards in good condition. Not great. So. I feel for you, Mark. When I was selling, when I was buying, you'd love to have an agreement of what's fair for both parties. When you're looking at a card, the seller of the card notices how beautiful it is, and the potential buyer is noticing what's wrong with it. If you were to gently point out that this is not that it's clearly only in good condition, maybe you can persuade the seller to come off it a little bit. It's basically, caveat emptor, which is, buyer beware. But I'm probably gonna have to do an episode about eye appeal, because eye appeal, if something's got a blemish on the back of the card, or the centering is off and there's a bad corner, some good condition or very good condition cards are better looking than others. So let's leave it at that. Mark, best to you in your search for completing sets. My hat's off to those who want to complete sets, and when the sets are from the 50s or 60s even, putting them together in really great condition can get very expensive. So keep up the good work, Mark. Thanks for your good letter, and I'll be back tomorrow.